Hello everyone and welcome back to another lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you all about the future tense. But before we begin the lesson, please do subscribe to the channel if you find the content of this lesson useful. Now, let us begin. To be able to use the future tense correctly, either in writing or in speech, you need to know some rules that will help you to do that correctly every single time. Rule number 1. Use this tense to talk about your plans. That is, things that you're planning to do. Okay? So we use the future tense to talk about the things that we are planning to do in the near future. Look at the examples on the right. Example 1. I'm leaving for Spain tomorrow. The plan is leaving for Spain. Example 2. She is celebrating her birthday tonight. What is the plan? To celebrate her birthday. Example 3. They are shopping for a new car this afternoon. What is the plan? To shop for a new car this afternoon. Okay? So, we use the future tense to talk about the things we are planning to do in the near future. In example 1, it is tomorrow. In example 2, it is tonight. And in example 3, it is this afternoon. So really, it is what you're planning to do in the near future. Let us move on to rule number 2. Now, there are different ways to talk about your future plans in English. So there are different ways in which you can construct a sentence in the future tense. There are different ways in which you can construct a sentence in the future tense. Let us look at the first one. Look at A, to A. Combine the pronoun. Remember, pronouns are he, she, they, it, you. Okay? So combine one of those pronouns or the name of a person like John or Peter or Mary, or the name of a thing like a table, a car, or the name of an animal, a dog, a cat. So combine one of those pronouns or name of a person, a thing or animal, plus is or are, plus verb, plus ing. Now, let us look at an example of how to do that. Look at example 4. They are getting married next week. They is a pronoun. Then you combine that with are. They are. Okay? You choose are because they means many people. When it is many people, we use are. They are getting married next week. So the pronoun is they, then we have chosen are, and then we have the verb get, and we add ing at the end of the verb. Look at example 5. We are having dinner with Roy tonight. The pronoun is we, and then plus are, and plus the verb have, and then you add ing at the end of the verb. So that is how you apply rule number 2A. But remember to use that combination, remember to use rule number 2A for things that will happen within a week. So you use that for things that will happen within a week. If you look at example 4, they are getting married next week. It will happen within a week, next week. If you look at example 5, we are having dinner with Roy tonight. It's actually happening tonight. So use that combination, use rule number 2A to talk about things that will happen within a week. Let us move on to rule number 2B. You can construct a sentence in the future tense by combining a pronoun or a name of a person, a thing or an animal, plus shall or will, plus verb. And this time the verb is in its original form, like cook, sleep, eat, play. We do not add anything to the verb. So combine the pronoun or a name of a person, a thing or an animal, plus shall, plus will, plus verb. Let us see how we can apply that. Look at example that we have there. Look at example 6. The doctor will call you in an hour. The doctor will call you in an hour. The doctor is the name of a person, plus will, okay, plus a verb, and that is call. So the doctor is the name of a person, plus will, plus call, which is the verb. Okay. Number 7. We shall see you soon. We is the pronoun, plus shall, plus the verb see. Okay. Now, sometimes some of my students ask me, can I use shall in example 6? Can I use will in example 7? Absolutely, you can. It is also correct to say, the doctor shall call you in an hour. And it is correct to say, we will see you soon. Both of them are absolutely correct. The most important thing is to make sure you follow the rule. Combine the pronoun, okay? And remember, we say the pronouns are he, she, it, they, okay, and you. Combine one of those pronouns with shall or will plus the verb, and you have a good, correct, grammatically correct construction. Like, for example, as we have seen in example 6, the doctor will call you in an hour. We shall see you soon. I give you another example. You will receive your presents soon. You will receive your present tomorrow. Okay? You will receive your presents tomorrow. Okay? the dog shall visit a new area tomorrow. The dog shall visit a new area tomorrow. Okay? So, let us move on to rule number 2C. You can also construct a sentence in the future tense by combining the pronoun or a name of a person, a thing, or an animal, plus verb, plus S or ES. Combine pronoun or a name of a person, a thing, or an animal, plus the verb, plus S or ES. So this time, the verb is not going to be in its original form, like in the previous rule. This time, you're going to add S or ES at the end of the verb. Now, let us see how to apply that rule. Look at example 8. My flight departs in an hour. My flight departs in an hour. Now, my flight is the name of a thing. Okay, my flight. Plus the verb depart. And then plus an S. So we add an S at the end of the verb depart. My flight departs in an hour. The next example, 9. His train arrives shortly. So, his train there, okay, is the name of a thing. You can also say that that is a noun. His train arrive. So, the name of a thing plus the verb arrive plus S, arrives shortly. Okay, so for rule number 2C, combine the pronoun or the name of a person or the name of a thing or the name of an animal, combine that to a verb and then add S or ES at the end of the verb. Remember to use that construction to talk about public services, okay? Public services, a timetable or fixed program or appointment, okay? So we use that combination when you want to talk about public services, when you want to talk about a timetable or a fixed program or appointment. And if you look at example 8, my flight departs in an hour, you're talking about a timetable, okay? It is a fixed program. My flight departs in an hour. And then number 9, his train arrives shortly. You're talking about a public service that has a fixed timetable or program. The train arrives shortly. Okay, let us move on to rule number 3. Use shall or will, that is rule number 2B, to propose something, to talk about the future in general, not appointments, okay? So, for appointments, you use rule number 2C. But rule number 2B, we use it to propose. To propose means to suggest something or to talk about the future in general, okay? Not specific. You're not specific about the time. It's in general, okay? Let us look at how to apply that rule. Example 10. You want to propose something. Shall we go home now? Shall we go home now? So it's a question you're asking somebody, you're proposing something, you're suggesting something. You want to go home. So you say to them, shall we go home now? And then example 11, we will sleep late tonight. We will sleep late tonight. You are speaking about the future. Okay, you're speaking about the future in general. You're not giving a specific time. We will sleep late tonight. So you use will there, okay, to help you to speak about the future in general. And remember, you're applying rule number 2B. So you have we as a pronoun, will, plus sleep, that is the original form of the verb. And then look at example 12. I will plant the seeds next week. Okay, I will plant the seeds next week. Again, I'm not talking specifically about which day, just next week. So I'm talking about the future in general. I will plant the seeds next week. Rule number 4. Use shall to ask questions. Okay? Use shall to ask questions. In that case, it is simply shall plus any pronoun. So, any pronoun, she, he, they, we, you, any of the pronouns, you can combine that with shall plus the verb to ask a question. Look at example 13. Shall I call you later? So you have shall I call you later? So you have shall plus the pronoun I and then the verb call. And if you look at example 10, it is applying that rule as well. Shall we go home now? Shall we go home now? So you have shall plus we, which is the pronoun, and then you have the verb go in its original form. Now, rule number 5. Use will to ask questions, but we only use will with specific pronouns. Okay? And they are he, she, it, and they. Okay? He, she, it, and they. For example, look at example 14. Will he get upset? Will he get upset? And then example 15. Will they join us later? Will they join us later? So will is according to the first part of rule number 5. So will plus they plus join, which is the verb. And finally, rule number 6. Use hope with shall or will plus verb. Okay? Use hope with shall or will plus verb. Look at the example. I hope that I will see you soon. I hope that I will see you soon. We hope that everything will go well. We hope that everything will go well. Okay? Now, this brings me to the end of this lesson. Remember to use the future tense to talk about things that you plan to do in the near future. And there are different ways of using the future tense. There are different ways of talking about your future plans in English, okay? You can either apply rule number 2A, rule number 2B, rule number 2C, okay? Rule number 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you have any questions, please feel free to write the questions in the comment section and I will do my best to answer them. I hope that you found this lesson useful. If you did, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Have you done that? Thank you. I appreciate that. Bye-bye and see you in our next lesson.